defending the free market, and making the moral case for capitalism. The Justin Moore Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Justin Moore Show, where we make sense of what's going on in this crazy, insane, out of control world. Here we are. It's every single day I'm looking at the news, I'm hearing stuff, and it just continues from the last episode I did. There's a new celebrity, some news anchor. You got Charlie Rose now, 75-year-old Charlie Rose, accused of, sexual allegations with 8 women, harassment, him walking around nude. Who in their right mind would want to see Charlie Rose naked? I mean, and it's like these guys, they all have these giant egos. So they all think they look amazing. Like there's the girls that are like bulimics and anorexics and all that. They look in the mirror and they just think that they're fat. Like, oh my gosh, I got to lose weight, but they're really nothing but skin and bones. Like they look hideous because they're so damn skinny. Well, these, celebrities and these politicians in D.C., it's the exact opposite. They look in a mirror and they see like, I don't know, whoever you ladies out there think is the hottest guy out there. They think they look like that, like some sort of Greek god. And they think everybody wants to see them. And okay, yes, there's an element. Yes, confidence gets you a long ways, but it only gets you so far too. If you're like, 75 years old, there's not too much on you that's probably that attractive at that age. But who knows? Maybe in the future, it's going to change it so 75-year-olds look like 35-year-olds now. But the 75-year-olds today look like they're, like 65. All right, so there's still, it's just crazy. And then I was seeing an article. I saw Sylvester Stallone and a 16-year-old and him and his bodyguard. And I can't believe it. I mean, I guess I can. I was never shocked by all this that's going on, that this was happening behind the scenes. Of course, this stuff is always going on. And it's really good and it's healthy that all this is coming to light. And especially with politicians, when politicians are being exposed as corrupt, this is all part of, from a libertarian point of view, government losing, I guess, legitimacy. Now, obviously, listeners of this show, we don't see too much of what the government does as legitimate, right? But for the average person out there who votes for these guys, who sees a lot of these politicians like Obama in 2008 with those Greek columns, people are just in shock and awe. Oh my gosh. And, women and, also men getting thrills up their legs, that sort of thing. People were just awe-inspired over these politicians. So with this stuff coming out, this is all very healthy. And yeah, with the celebrity world too. People are so caught up and everybody wants to be famous. Look at YouTube. People do some crazy stuff. What was this news story where this girl, I guess it was a couple, and they wanted to make a video go viral. So they're like, this guy's holding, I guess I've never seen the video, so I'm kind of trying to recall this from memory of hearing it from somewhere, I can't remember where he's like holding a metal plate in front of him and like, hey, we're going to test out this body armor basically, so shoot at me. Well, the body armor or whatever he had failed and the guy died. So people these days, especially millennials, I notice in my generation, everybody wants to be famous. You go on Facebook, everybody is showing you what they're up to. Oh, look what I had for breakfast. I had some Go-Gurt and, some oatmeal with a little bit of milk and brown sugar on it. I was like, who gives a crap? Nobody gives a crap about what you're doing in your life. But everybody thinks the world revolves around them, even if they don't really think that they do. It's just kind of, and it's why I've said, like, what was that, last week's show? Or was it, I don't know, one of the last 2 episodes I did, just kind of talking about, and I'm recommending the book, hey, read Dale Carnegie's classic book. I want to say 1936, but I could be confusing that with John Maynard Keynes' book, I think came out in 1936, The General Theory. But it's around there. And the name of the book by Dale Carnegie is How to Make Friends and Influence People. And just, if you can be that person who you look at something from somebody else's perspective, you're not being selfish, but you're trying to understand where they're coming from. Okay, like say you're arguing with somebody, politics, economics, you're truly listening to them and you're like, okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, hey, look, I used to be there. But see, this is where I kind of differ, is I see that isn't necessarily true from what I've noticed in my own life or things that I've read. Just a different way of approaching it, but truly understanding that person. Not coming from the perspective that, you're an idiot, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, I'm the guy who has the monopoly on the truth. That is not effective. So yeah, if you can be that person to see something from somebody else's perspective. And with millennials these days, that's most definitely not the case. I think we're getting more and more self-absorbed. Look at technology. People going through Facebook, they post things and they get their little highs from how many likes they get on stuff. Everybody's caught up in, well, they want, like, oh my God, what do people think about me? Me. It's like, no, don't live life like that. If you live life like that can be pretty frustrating at times, If you want to live a life that's happy, and just every day just seems amazing. I seem like I live a really happy life. I love my life. I think if people know what I was able to do in my life, people would probably be jealous of my life. I love doing what I do. I absolutely love it. I put a smile on my face when I do it. I mean, having a good attitude, that's part of it too. But I'm looking from the perspective, hey, how can I help somebody else out? So if you get away from that selfish sort of mindset and you're not concerned about the money. If I was concerned about the money, I should have stopped doing this podcast a long time ago. But I'm looking at all the other benefits that I do get from it. And it's fun coming and getting to talk to you guys about all this different stuff that's going on in the news. And it's a way for me to express my creativity all in a 25, 30-minute episode. So it's just, how do you look at something? Do you just look at things in terms of dollars and cents? Or do you look at, okay, maybe you don't necessarily get money from these certain activities you get, but what do you really get out of it? What do you gain? What skills are you improving on by doing it? It's like that example I brought up to you guys, reading the book The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, another book I strongly and highly recommend you guys read. Or you're pumping, trying to get water out of the well, pumping and pumping and pumping, nothing's coming out. And then eventually you get a little trickle. Then all of a sudden you start getting a lot of water gushing. That's how it works with life. Working on and improving your skills. You're not going to see a huge benefit from it for a long time or a significant amount of time. But eventually, things will start to click. You're going to get momentum. And you're going to be at a level, you're going to look around like, holy crap, I can't believe I'm a lot better at this than most people. And I'm just average, But that's the difference, because most people don't take that next step. Most people aren't trying to hone their skills. Well, anyway, guys, I guess I didn't really mean to go on a huge tangent like that. But I think what I wanted to do on today's show, and by the way, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have fun shopping Black Friday. Please don't get ran over. I really wanted to dedicate this show talking about, I guess, in general terms, the Republican tax plan that's come out. It's passed through the House right now. The Senate's working on it. They're tweaking it. Orrin Hatch just pushed through his little amendment to tweak the bill. I'm not going to really go through all that many numbers and so forth, because that can be kind of hard to listen to. So just looking at it very broadly, the bill overall, basically a lot of people are criticizing it. Hey, look, it's going to add $2 trillion to the national debt over 10 years. Okay, yeah, I don't like when here we are cutting taxes. But here's the thing. Okay, that means the government's receiving less revenue. Okay, so that means taxes must overall be reduced if the government's taking less in. But why isn't the government cutting $2 trillion worth of expenses, or how much they're spending over 10 years? That's not really hard to do. You can easily, quote unquote, pay for this tax bill. Cut spending. That's the number one thing we should be doing. Yes, we need to cut taxes. I want to pay as little taxes as possible. So does the next guy. So do you out there listening to this show right now. We want to pay as little as we can to Uncle Sam, because we know every dollar we give to Uncle Sam, he pisses down the drain. So yes, cut my taxes, but also cut government spending, because in the long run, okay, you don't cut government spending, but you reduce taxes. All government spending is what? It's a tax. So eventually, you're going to get taxed in some way to pay for that government spending. So we need to cut government spending. Okay, now looking at this little tax bill that they're proposed. Basically, right now, what we have, I'm really going to make this as simple as I can. So right now we have 7 tax brackets. It's a progressive tax rate. So as you make more money, you pay more in taxes in terms of a percentage. So right now, okay, I'm gonna round these numbers just to make it easy as you're listening here. The first $10,000 you make, doesn't matter if you make $1 million a year or $50,000 a year. Your first $10,000 you make, you're taxed at 10%. Then from $10,000 to $39,000, you're taxed at 15%. And then from $39,000 to basically $94,000, it's 25%. And then from $94,000 to $196,000, you're taxed at 28%. Then we got from $195,000 to $425,000, 33%, and from 35% tax rate, you have to be making over $424,000 to $426,000. And then the way the current tax bracket's set up, any money that individuals make over $427,000, you're taxed at 39.6%. So that's the current law right now, okay? And as you guys know, the way it works, once you make that first $10,000, it's 10%. Then your rate that you make between $10,000 to $39,000, you're taxed at 15%. Then you add that 10%. So that's how it works. So even though you're, say, at the 28% tax bracket, you're making $100,000 a year, that's not your effective tax rate. Your effective tax rate is actually a little bit lower than 28%. Okay. Now, just to simplify it here, looking at the proposal of the tax rates. Now, this is the Senate proposal, because the House proposal actually reduces the number of tax brackets down to 4. The Senate one leaves basically all 7 tax rates. They left the first bracket the same. The first 10,000 is 10%. And now instead of it being 15% at the next bracket level, it's 12%. And that's when you're making between 10,000 and 39,000. So, okay, you're saving a few percentage rates there. And then for those of you who make between 39,000 and 60,000, you're at 22.5% instead of 25%. And then for the 25% tax bracket with the new proposal, if you make between 60,000 and 170,000. So basically, any of you out there who make under 170,000 a year, the highest individual tax rate you'll pay is 25%. Okay? And as of the law last year, if you made over 94,000 to 195,000, your top tax percentage would be 28%. So they've reduced your taxes a little bit. And now in the tax bill, they're doing all these little tweaks all over the place, and there are some good things. The corporate tax rate that's now at 35%, they're going to reduce that to 20%, which is good. Bring all that foreign investment. All these companies that are based over in Ireland, the U.S. companies, bring the money back here to the States. So they do little things like that. I guess if you were to put a gun to my head and say, hey, look, is this tax plan, is this a plus or a minus? Well, I'd probably say it's a plus, but barely. I mean, because it is. It's like what the Republicans are doing when they were trying to pass and repeal Obamacare. Their version was the Republican version of Obamacare. I think that was a complete disaster, because that's leaving everything in place. Okay, this tax bill, yeah, it's reduced some things. It's over time they're gonna repeal the estate tax, which is good. Basically, capital gains rate stays the same, which, yeah, they should be reducing that. But they are doing some good things, but it's marginal. It's nothing revolutionary like these Republicans are talking about. Oh my gosh, this is the best and most beautiful tax plan since the Reagan tax cuts of 1986. Okay, it does reduce taxes for all income brackets. And actually, I found something very interesting here. Let's see, it's right here. This is right here. This is from the Tax Foundation. You guys can pull this up and check this out yourself. So what they do is they're looking at, I want to say this is like 9 different people and couples, and they're kind of going through some scenarios. Like, okay, let's say you're James. You're making $30,000 a year. You have no pass-through income. You're single, no kids. And so they kind of go through like with all these different people, they kind of show different scenarios. You can probably find someone who's close to you, and so you can kind of get an idea like how are you going to benefit from the proposed Republican tax plan. And so basically looking at all these different couples, whether you're a single individual making $30,000 a year, or if you're a couple making $2 million a year with 2 kids, or you're a couple making $75,000 a year, whatever it is, overall, you end up, your tax liability goes down. Like for all these different people, it's basically like here's one example. They have Jason here. He's making $52,000 a year. He has no pass-through income. He's single. He has 2 kids. Basically, his percentage of his tax liability, he's going to reduce his taxes by 36%. So his after-tax earnings are going to increase by 3.6%. And a lot of these people who are going to benefit too, any people with kids, the tax credit for children increases under the Republican plan. So that's going to benefit you guys out there. But even if you're someone with no kids, you're going to see your tax liability is going to go down. Or if you're making $2 million a year, you're going to improve on your taxes. But actually the couple, like they have an example here, you're making $2 million a year, you're married, you have 2 kids, you don't have any pass-through income. Basically it shows your tax liability is at 1%. It's gone down by 1%, and your after-tax earnings it's improved by 0.5%. So of all these different scenarios here, that couple shows the least amount benefit from this tax plan. But if you go over to the next couple here, well, instead of making $2 million like the last couple, they're making $800,000, but they have pass-through income of $200,000. 2 kids, just like the last couple. Everything else is the same, but they actually see, their percentage of after-tax earnings increases by 2.6%. So overall, there's a lot of people criticizing this bill. Oh, it destroys the middle class, only helps the rich. No, everybody will benefit marginally. It just matters how you have your life set up and all that. But overall, it will help everybody out. You can get a little bit more money you can add to your savings. Well, I guess if the average American out there, people don't save. They see that they have more money. Oh, okay, cool. That means I can go buy a raft or something, I can go buy some coolers and stuff at Costco, or buy some new hunting equipment, or, fishing gear, whatever it is. People don't save, so it doesn't matter. It's kind of like the government. Actually, the government, they do the exact opposite of saving. Whatever money they have coming in, they always spend over what they get in. That's how we get deficits year after year after year. A balanced budget is spending everything you're taking in and not saving anything. We can't even do that. That is how sick it is in this country today. They're out of control government. Now anyway, let's go back here to this other page I had. Okay. So what I brought up at the beginning of the show, I'm going to keep this episode really short. We have Senator Orrin Hatch. He's a senator from Utah. Now he put through his amendment to the tax plan, because the Senate's still working it out. They haven't passed anything yet, but the House has. And now his little amendments he wants to make to the bill, he does do a lot of good things. The one big thing that he does, he essentially puts the fee charged of the individual mandate at $0. So essentially, he gets rid of the individual mandate from Obamacare. Or if you don't have a health insurance, you're not going to pay a fine. It's going to be $0. So you won't be forced to carry health insurance. Now see, like for me, I was sick of paying for my own health care. I saw my premiums go up like 80% and all. It's just ridiculous. And now that I have a job, working part-time with United, all my health care is all provided for me. I actually get really good health benefits, and it's not costing me that much per month. So that really saved my skin. But all you guys out there who don't have that sort of situation, your employer is not covering your health insurance. You have to pay for it yourself. You're seeing premiums just go out of control, but you're forced to pay it, or you got to pay the penalty. So that's one huge thing. I guess if they can make it so it's like, and that's actually really smart that the Republicans and like Orrin Hatch put that in there. So they can say, hey, look, yeah, we didn't repeal Obamacare, but we reversed and we're getting rid of the individual mandate of Obamacare when we passed through our tax plan. So that'll be huge for Republicans to campaign on. And that's why this tax plan, too, is so important for Republicans to get through by year's end. And that's why Trump's saying, hey, I want to have a bill signed by Christmas. Okay, guys? It's because these Republicans, if they don't get through a tax plan by the end of this year, all these guys in the House who are up for re-election, what the hell are they going to tell their constituents? Yeah, we were really trying. We tried to repeal Obamacare. Okay, that didn't work. We were trying to reduce you guys' taxes. Okay, no, that didn't work either. But at least they could have something like, hey, look, yeah, for your tax bracket and like for the middle class and, and the way they set up the tax rates, they're showing like basically the largest decrease in marginal tax rates goes to the middle class from that way of looking at it. So that'll be really good for them when they're campaigning and all that. But look, I don't give a crap about the Republicans or the Democrats. That, okay, yeah, the Republicans don't get this bill through. Are they going to lose the House? Yeah, they probably will. But Republicans are a bunch of pieces of crap. They're not doing anything. They're not these free market types like they always campaign on. Oh, yeah, we're going to shrink the size of government. Yeah, Obamacare is so destructive. We're going to repeal it. We want a free market in healthcare. Then they get through this little repeal of Obamacare sort of bill that they laid out, which it didn't repeal Obamacare. It was the Republican version of Obamacare. It was what I coined at the time, Trump care. That's what it was. The Republicans don't believe in a free market. It's frustrating, and that's why I've kind of tuned out of politics watching all this stuff, because I don't want my blood pressure to go up, which I've completely changed how I react to a lot of the stuff, going back from how I used to be years ago. Man, years ago, caught up, and I'll just be furious, like, oh my God. Now I just kind of laugh at it, and it's like, I just know what I got to do for me, I guess, so I can get through all this government craziness. And whether the government grows or not, obviously it's always going to grow, but whatever destructive policies the government gets through, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to keep getting more and more successful. Nobody is going to get in my way. I'm not going to have some excuse, oh, well, yeah, I would be doing this and this in my life, but no, the government and these politicians got in the way, so I couldn't. No, I'm not going to make any excuses. I don't care what obstacles you put in my way. I am going to get there. And I think that's the mindset you have to have. If you just think you're someone just caught up in these horrible circumstances, what are you doing? What are you doing when you say that? You're putting yourself as a victim. Like, yeah, I would be doing this. Yeah, I would have this I probably would have a wife or whatever, but nope, the sexual harassment stuff, I can't risk it asking girls out on dates. Nope, not going to do it. I'll just stick to playing Xbox or PlayStation, play my little Nazi zombies and so forth. No. Don't be a victim. That just, when you put yourself as a victim, like, that takes away all of your inner power you have. Like, where's your confidence? You don't have any confidence at that point. You're just, you're a freaking victim. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Anyone who sees themselves as victims, oh man, that is a huge turnoff for me. It's like, oh, come on, man. Come on. No, you can do it. You got it. I always like to try to encourage people because I don't want anyone to think that they can't do something. Because it's amazing when you put your mindset on something. You want to do it, you can do it. You want to change your life, you can change your life. And yeah, going back to those 2 books I recommended earlier, man, go read How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Go read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Those 2 books can literally change your life. And so, you know what, guys? With that said, it is Black Friday now. There's going to be a lot of good deals out there, or perceived good deals. I've noticed some items that I bought on Amazon, the prices have actually gone up from when I bought them like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It's like, so maybe they're raising prices up so they can say that they cut them for Black Friday. I don't know. But there are some good deals out there. And if you guys do plan on buying some goods from Amazon, may I highly and strongly encourage you guys, if you can, before you go right on Amazon to buy the goods, go through Amazon by clicking to the link that's on my website. Because I get credit for it. And it's not costing you anything extra, but it's a way of you like donating to my show without really donating. So if you go to justinmooreshow.com, or spelled M-O-H-R, yeah, just click on my little Amazon little banner there. Takes you right to Amazon's homepage. Then do your little searches. Click on the Black Friday deals, whatever it is. But I'm getting credit for it. So guys, please, that's such a great way to help me out here. And so I can expand the show. I can work on, getting the word out there about my show, which I've been really horrible on lately. And it's just trying to find time for the show, man. Working 14-hour days. Trying to fit this show in general has been hard as hell. But I'm trying to make it happen. I want to have a show for you guys every single week. And no excuses. I'm going to make it happen. Okay? So you guys don't worry. And so yeah, if you guys can do that to help me out. Or, man, I'm sure Tom Woods is going to have some Black Friday deals or whatever for, his Liberty Classroom site. Click through my link there. And if you guys can do that to help me out, I know Audible, I think they're going to have 2 free books if you sign up through them. If you click on Amazon through the link on my website and you go look for Audible, type in Audible, or there's a link up there on the top, and I'll get credit for that too. But you'll get 2 free books from Audible. You can listen to them. You don't have time to sit and read a book. Audible is an amazing alternative. You can get through a book in 7-8 hours. Maybe it's a book that would take you a couple weeks to read because you don't have time. Here, you could get through it in what? Maybe a week of driving to work back and forth? Yeah, make use of all the time we have. And that's the key too with life, isn't it? Time management. Most of us don't realize how much free time we actually have, or how much time we piss away scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through Twitter, reading all Donald Trump's tweets, But we all have 24 hours in a day. Heck, let's take advantage of them. There's so much to learn. There's so many ways that we can, especially with the internet, you can make money. Whatever it is, pursue your passions. Anyway, guys, I'm going to conclude that and leave that right there. And I thank you guys so much for being here. I will talk with all you guys next week, and I'm looking forward to it. This is Justin Moore, signing off.